I'll just do it this way. All right, so everyone's asking about the bags, right? Okay, so I brought plenty of them. Everyone will get 20 bags, which makes 10 because you have to double bag everything. These bags are specially designed and formulated that the gas will not penetrate, provided that there is air pressure in the bag. So when you load these up, you're going to make sure that there's air in them, okay? I have instructions for all that, and I'll go through this with everybody if you have any additional questions, okay? All right, so things that go in the bag. If it's not a can and it's not a pressurized vessel, such as an unopened bottle of wine, a bottle of ketchup, anything like that that has a factory seal and it's pressurized on the inside, needs to go in the bag. So your matzah, your pasta, all that stuff needs to go in the bag. Your spices, flour, sugar, any condiments you might have in your cabinet. The way I suggest doing this is that you make a list, depending on if you have a lot of food in your house. You make a list of everything that needs to be done and the meals that you're going to eat prior to the fumigation, because you guys are going to be out of your homes for a few days, right? So that makes life a little bit easier. The things that you don't use on a daily basis, bag it if it meets the desired description, right? Okay, so once you get the bags and you get them home, what you want to do is go through all your cabinets and identify everything that needs to be bagged prior to. Now, I will be available via Chris, because I can't have 50 people calling me. Otherwise, I'll never get anything done. So Chris is going to have a guide sheet to go by for you guys in case there's any questions. Well, hopefully we'll be able to get through most of that today. Now, medications, insulin, any monthly stuff that you take, blood thinners, all those things, either take it with you or bag it. If you've got a surplus of it, bag it. Okay? All right. All right, so what happens is on the date of the fumigation, our trucks will show up. We're doing 2 buildings on Wednesday, 2 buildings on Friday, I believe it is, or Thursday, and the last one being done, I think it's on a Friday. So what happens is Monday, you're Monday? Okay, so it's Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so that way we're all cleared on a Saturday, right? Okay, so what happens is, because I can't get a crane in here without disrupting everyone's lives, we have to do what's called a steep roof load. That means they have to carry 200-300 pounds worth of tarps up onto the roof on a ladder, which is not an easy task, right? That's why we can't do 5 buildings in a day. It takes quite a while to wrap one of these buildings. And the way we do it with tarps. So we drop these very large tarps over the side, and then we seal them and pin them with these large clips. Once we get a seal around one side of the building, we work our way all the way around. When we get to the bottom of the building, we use water bags. They're about 8 to 10 inches in diameter, and then we fill them, and that gets the seal along the bottom. Once we have a complete seal, they do one last-minute sweep of all the buildings to make sure. We do 2 sweeps, right? Initial and then the final. What we're doing is we're looking for pets, sleeping residents, which, believe it or not, has happened. And then once they clear the building, they start bringing in the gas lines. They start running the gas lines in. The gas lines come in. They're brought into each unit, and then there's a fan that we supply. We bring in the fan, and we attach the gas line to the fan. The fan spreads the gas throughout. The gas that we use is called Vicane. All right, it is a sulfur fluoride gas, and it kills everything. So if there's something in your apartment that you didn't know about it, you might find it when you get back. Most of the time what we see are lizards, Yes.
We're recording this unless you have that up there. We're not hearing you.
Oh, okay. Are you recording it for what? For your residents, okay. All right, so usually I'm quite boisterous anyway, so it's once we get all the gas lines in and we distribute the gas, we monitor the gas lines through a manifold. The manifold gives us a digital relay, and it gives us, we have a Bluetooth software that tells us what the penetration level is for each gas line in each unit. Once it reaches 100%, it levels off, right? So when you got one cylinder of gas or two cylinders feeding a building, it takes a while to get the gas levels up to where they have to be, which is why we need to cook the buildings for a couple of days, right? So once we get everything gassed up, we got the levels good, they come back the following day and they start taking the tarps down. Now we're looking at what we call aeration process number 1, which is we start popping doors, popping windows. The SPID, who is in charge of the gas lines, puts a scuba tank on and starts entering each building and starts checking for gas levels, right? Based on the gas levels will tell us how much aeration we need to do. But once we leave for the day, everything gets buttoned back up and locked, because by law, we cannot leave a unit unlocked when we leave for the day. They come back the next day, and that's when we start aeration process number 2. So what's going to happen is each unit will get opened. They go in and start checking. They start aerating. ACs start going back on, right, to start the process to get everything out. Once we get a 100% clear, which is 0 parts per million of the gas, and we have to check all the dead spots in the closets, under the counters, because you're going to keep all your counters, your closet doors, and your drawers open, right? So that's not just for access, that's also so that we can clear it all out of the gas. Now, once oxygen hits, the gas molecules split and they separate. Once they separate, it's completely inert, and it does not leave a residue. So you don't have to clean your dishes and your linens and your silverware. Although, looking at some of the faces in here, I guarantee you that's going to happen anyway. So, but it isn't necessary. I've eaten off a plate that just came out of a house that was gassed, and I'm still here. So everything has been fine on that level. Once we get the all clear, we will notify Chris that we can start entering the buildings again, all right? And then from that process, he handles all of that. And then we go to the next building, clear that, the next building, we clear that, because we've got 5 buildings to do here this time around, okay? All right, so we've covered food, medication, and the process. The bags themselves, we'll be handing them out. Just make sure you tuck one inside of another bag. You want 2 bags. They're quite tall, if you can see, right? So a lot of times what we do is we ask the customer, if you have refrigerated items, to take the top shelf and push it down. Or if you need to, just unhinge it and pull it out and just use your crisper or whatever, because you can fill these bags up pretty good. This also goes for your freezer as well. You want to put any food, anything you digest, ingest, inhale, has to go into these bags, okay? Unless it has a factory seal and it's not permeable, like a box or something like that. Now, topicals and shampoos and all that, you don't have to worry about that. It's just the medications and the food is what we're concerned about. Okay? All right, now, questions? Yes?
When we leave Monday morning, should I open my windows and have my not have my air on? What?
The air is off, and crack your windows 3 to 4 inches. The reason for that is once we put the tent up, the gas is going to come out of your windows and go up into the soffits as well. So we hit it from all angles. And that's why you need your windows open. But we will be on site early in the morning.
And what happens when you're done? Do you guys put the air back on or no?
Well, it depends on, I guess, a group consensus. If you want
'Cause
us
if the
to, we'll
windows are
turn it
open,
on.
you don't want the air on.
Well, no, but what we're more concerned about is getting a good clear,
Yeah.
okay? So we want that to happen generally through a cross breeze. So if you have a window in the rear, we can get a cross breeze. Once we give you a clear, if you want us to turn the air on, we'll turn it on. I will be here on site, and I will take care of that. If you don't want it, that's fine. You can deal with it yourself, because I don't know when you guys are returning. You might have plans to go to the Keys or whatever. I don't know. So I don't want to turn the air on if you're not going to be there, because it's a waste of electricity, right?
So how will you know? Do you have to tell Chris? Or, I mean, I'm coming right back Wednesday, so I would prefer not to have it on, so.
Okay, that's fine. Well, yeah. If you guys would just do a consensus right now, if you guys don't want your air on, you want to turn it on yourself, I'll put that in the notes, and we'll take care of it. All right, is that good? Okay, that way I don't want to be blamed for electric bills or anything like that, right? Okay, so we'll keep the air off. Okay? All right, now when we leave, the windows that have been opened will be closed and locked. Again, it's against the law for us to leave any units open. Okay? Now, everybody's got keys to the units, right? Okay, all right. So I'm gonna supply lock boxes to Chris so that we can keep the keys handy, because when we do you have to have a transfer of the keys for the building. So when the first tent goes up, I'll be on site, and then I will be here with the supervisor to start popping the doors to get the process going. All right, and then once the keys, I'll be with you in a minute, once the keys have all been utilized and the doors are open, they're then locked, so that all you have to do is pull the door closed. I collect the keys again. Once we're done with the keys, I bring them back to Chris. Okay? All right. Yes, ma'am. You had a question? Oh.
You said to crack the windows. What about like sliding glass doors on the back patio and the front door? Those should be locked
Yeah,
until you
so
get there?
if that's your only form of cross ventilation, it's a sliding glass door and you have a screen, then go ahead and open it, right? But if you have windows, we prefer the windows.
Two windows in front, two doors in the back.
Okay, so then just crack your sliding glass door, but leave the screen. We don't want any additional critters coming in while. Okay? All right. Next question. Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned drawers.
Yes.
Referring to like Chester drawers
Every drawer.
and just open them slightly
Yes, 3 to 4 inches.
and just leave the clothing or whatever's in them?
Yes, yes, yes. Please don't leave any valuables in there. All our guys are trustworthy and bonded, but I don't need any temptation in there as well. So, gold, jewelry, money, whatever, just tuck it away somewhere. But yes, closet doors, dresser drawers, kitchen drawers, everything. 3 to 4 inches, I need them open. Now, does anybody here have attic access? You do. Okay, if you have attic access, I need those open at least 3 to 4 inches so that the gas can get up into the attic. All right? Well, however that gets done, just make sure that it is. All right? Okay. All right. And I know you had a question. Yes.
How does the vapor affect like your ice and your water lines in your fridge?
It doesn't.
Okay, so you don't have to dump the ice?
No.
Okay.
But I
So
know
I'm
you will
ingesting
anyway.
it.
Yes. I know you will anyway.
And what about, I had read something about foam mattresses, that they couldn't guarantee the vapor will leave a foam mattress?
That's only if it has a mattress cover,
Okay, so the,
right? So if you have visiting grandchildren and they're young and,
okay,
if you have a mattress cover, take the cover off and that'll be fine.
okay, so the foam doesn't have any?
No.
Compared to a regular mattress?
No.
Okay,
No, that's fine.
all right, great.
Okay, great. Yes. If it's a cover, like one of those plastic ones for wetness. Yeah, that's what it's generally. It's the kids, the 3 to 5-year-old mattresses that have the anti-wet protective. That's yes, yes, yes. It does not affect your clothing or anything else. Okay. Yes. No. No. No, not at all. That's the beauty of this product. It's completely residual free. In fact, when you walk back in, you probably won't even know that anything happened. There might be a slight scent of what we call chlorpicrin, which is, any guys, I'm a former Marine. Is anybody here that was in the military here that knows what CS gas is? Okay, if you've ever been through the gas chamber, it's not a pleasant experience, right? So what we have to do by law is we have to add that as an odor because Vicane gas is odorless. So we supply that, and it goes out on a cotton pad in front of the fan to give it an odor because we've had people, not in condominium buildings, but in homes, where we had homeless people come up, completely ignore the danger poison signs, slice the side of the tent, and try to go in for a place to sleep. Well, they got a face full of CS gas, and it burns your skin, it makes your eyes water, your nose run. They get a face full of that, and they're out the door, and they're gone. But then our gas levels drop. We know it's happening, and then we have to send a team back out there to patch the hole and then regas it. But that's the reason. It's number one, it's liability for the homeowner. Number two, it's trying to save some idiot's life because they weren't paying attention, right? Okay. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Times do we have to be out in the morning? What time do we get back?
Generally, we like to get everybody out by 9 a.m. All right? So that gives you plenty of time to fuss about, right? Did you get your stuff? Oh, I got my stuff. Yeah, so I don't know. Every area is different. Some people are very unified and they work together as a team, and then others, they fight like cats and dogs, and I got to be a mediator and step in between, So I've been doing this job since I'm 16 years old. I was a kid in high school, and I used to do, was it Whitehall and Century Village and all those places down in Boca Raton, and I drove a pest control truck all the way through high school. So I was the bug guy. That was my nickname, was the bug guy. But you'd be surprised what these people would ask you to do at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. Everybody had a doctor's appointment. Everybody had to be first, So I've been dealing with that kind of stuff since I'm a kid. All right, so getting back to the bags, does anybody have any questions about the bags? If you need more, I'm going to leave some extras with Chris, right? And we're a week out, so I can definitely get more up here. I had to order a case just for you guys because these things are not cheap, believe it or not. Nylafume bags, yes.
So can we use twist ties, or do you need tape, or what?
Well, we recommend you twist the bag, right? Both of them, fold it over, and you can tape it, or you can use a zip tie. Just make sure that it is airtight.
So if you go like this and no air comes out, you're all set?
Yeah, I wouldn't push it too hard. You want to keep as much air in there as possible. Yeah. Yes. Yes, sir.
Can you estimate, I'm a single person, how many bags? I have no food, I just eat off the street, so, yeah.
So you're a bachelor then, right?
Yeah, how many bags would you guesstimate I'd take?
Well, I'm going to give everybody the same amount. It comes to 10 bags, but you're each going to get 20 bags. If you don't need your bags, maybe one of your neighbors might have more food than they
They can just
anticipate.
bring them back to the office so we have them if somebody else needs extra.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Yes, ma'am.
Wait.
Hold on.
Getting back into our place
Yes.
on, like, word being tenant on Wednesday, so Friday is,
Friday, it'll be probably between noon and 3 before you're back in.
okay.
Because it doesn't take 2 seconds, this takes a little while for them to go through all the units. And then
We'll
they,
get a call from Chris.
yes. I will notify Chris or Grace once the building's been cleared, and then we'll go from there, okay? Any other questions? Saturday, based on what I see on the schedule, you're probably going to be before noon. However, it's always subject, like I was supposed to be here at 10 o'clock. It's always subject to change. It's always subject to change. Well, I got a priority call at 6:30 this morning in Delray. I drove to Delray. I was there at 7:15. They were not ready for me, so I had to wait and wait and wait. Meanwhile, I had an appointment up here. So we planned for the best, right? So generally what happens on a Saturday clear, there's only a few of them because most of our fumigations that we do during the week are cleared by Friday. So the SPID, who doesn't want to be on the road all day on the weekend, he wants to get them done as quickly as possible. So that's why I'm saying by noon. It's just
Corey,
human nature.
how about rain days?
Rain days, we work in the rain. As long as it is not thunder and lightning, we work.
Thank you.
You're welcome. These guys, this is a very special group of people that do this. This is not a task for the lighthearted, right? I mean, I've seen these guys walk across the screen braces over a pool, like most houses have down here, take off his shoes and walk it like a cat. And they're incredible. They're very, very good. And a building like this should only take us a couple of hours to wrap it, provided that we don't have any issues. Yes?
You're gonna leave the key when you leave on Saturday. This place isn't open. What?
On Saturday, well, I'll make arrangements with them on how we're going to deal with the Saturday clear keys.
Because they have keys of ours.
They do? Okay. All right. I'll have to discuss that with Chris on how we're going to handle that on a Saturday. All right? We might have somebody designated. Yes.
This paperwork says you don't have to bring toothpaste and dental, but Chris said you do. So do we or don't we?
Well, this is
Is
the
it
way I
better to
look
bring
at
it?
it. If it goes in your mouth, I would bag it. I would bag it. It's topical stuff that the shampoo and the
That's
creams
fine.
and all that. Yeah, that's fine. If it goes in your mouth, I would probably, not throw air or caution to the wind.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? That's okay. That's what I'm here for.
Do we give you our keys? Who do we give our key?
You're not going to give them to me.
Crystal,
Yes, Chris
Can we
is,
make sure
Chris
that
is
they
going to
actually
collect the
work?
keys.
because ours is a new building and I don't know. I don't know. That's why I would like it checked, or
Now-
I'll give him a new one. I'll give Chris a new key. Thank
Right.
you.
Thank you. And while we're on that subject, we've had to do some spot treatments in the buildings in here. And when the technician went to go enter the home, the key was not correct. Right? So please, please, please make sure that the key that you're going to give Chris is the actual key that operates your front door. Because people have changed door locks or for whatever, and it becomes a major problem when we're trying to conduct a fumigation and we can't get into a unit. That's going to slow everything down, including getting back in. Because the allotted amount of time still remains the same. The gas time doesn't change just because somebody made a mistake. We still have to gas it a certain period of time. So please, please, I've had this happen. I've shown up to buildings where they had the key codes on the doors, and I asked for the keys, and they all looked at me and said, "We don't have keys." And I said, "Well, we're not allowed to get your code. we need a key. So they all had to scramble and call locksmiths, and it was terrible. And it wasn't far from here either. So, yeah, that's the reason why I'm bringing it up now. Is imperative that we do that. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so just figure we need 18 inches from the drip line, which is the gutter, and your patio, right? Anything that is inside of here will die unless you move it out. If here's your screen, this is the bottom of your screen door, I need 18 inches from here to get a good seal, because that is the average width of some of these water bags. So anything that's kept in that 18 inches will die. It burns, the gas burns it. Okay, so if you have potted plants, move them out to the side. Well, yeah. Well, no, it'll burn. It depends on the plant, how hardy it is. I've seen plants come back, just water it, and they come back. But I'd rather replace a plant than my house, right? Yeah, yeah. So that's what it comes down to. People try to minimize loss, but unfortunately, I mean, we've had ivy growing on the outside of a house that had been there for 60 years, and I had to tell the homeowner, you're going to lose it. Wasn't something they wanted to hear, but it was a 100-year-old house. The termites will eat it up before you can, So, any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
So if I want to put a sheet over my mattress or a sheet over my couch, can I do that?
If it makes you feel better, yes.
But no plastic?
No.
Okay.
It isn't necessary, but
Okay.
yeah, we're not coming in with plumes of smoke. This is a gas that you cannot see. You cannot detect that it's even there. The only way you would know is if your heart stopped and you fell to the ground. So it isn't necessary.
Okay.
But if that's what you want to do, that's
Do
fine.
we have to unplug TVs or anything? Nothing?
No,
Okay.
no.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Anybody else? Yep.